Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hello guys. Today I want to talk about the 2018 British MotoGP round that never happened because of the rain. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who subscribed and liked my latest videos. The one that's probably made the biggest amount of difference is the KTM 790 Duke video. I'll put a link up there now. That seems to have gone really well, so if you've watched and subscribed, then thanks very much. And please remember guys, it doesn't cost you a thing to like and subscribe to me, but it makes a big difference for me. So first of all, thanks to everyone, and if you do like this video, please like and subscribe. Anyway, on to the meat of the why I'm making this video. So if you're at all involved in motorcycling, you probably heard of MotoGP. And the British round was at Silverstone yesterday. Or well, let's say was supposed to be at Silverstone yesterday. It never actually happened because of the torrential rain. I was actually there at the MotoGP yesterday, and I was lucky. I'd bought hospitality. I'd bought it maybe January, a lot earlier in the year. I'd actually bought hospitality, so I wasn't affected by the weather too much. I was inside, but I really felt for the people outside. And let's make this clear from the very start of the video, I am not knocking the riders at this point at all in the video. Every single rider, I wouldn't want to go out there and ride. The conditions were absolutely horrendous. It was unsafe. I've got no doubt in my mind it was unsafe to ride yesterday. Not a problem with that. The problem lies with Silverstone and Dorner almost as well. So I've got, you know, they've got a difficult job to do, and everyone wants to see the racing go ahead. Now, what the race organisers have got to do is obviously it's their responsibility to decide if the race goes ahead because of safety concerns. And I know they were busy. They were out on track every half hour yesterday doing laps, trying to recover the situation. Basically, they were going around in the BMW safety cars. There was at one point there were sweepers on track. There were tractors on track, trying to clear it with big sweeping devices. And they were getting nowhere. It was still raining. And at 12 o'clock, the race had already, just to fill you in, the race had already been brought forward. The MotoGP race I'm talking about. That race had already been brought forward to escape the worst of the weather. And it didn't go ahead. The bikes done, I think it was 2 sighting laps each. They went round, had a look. They formed up on the grid, and they all came to the conclusion that it's not safe to ride out there. And I mean, looking at what I could see on the monitors on the circuit TV, and I was watching through my phone as well, through an app, I completely agree with them. There was spray everywhere, especially what happened to Tito Rabat the day before. If you don't know, he broke his legs. He got hit by another bike that came up because he was aquaplaning down the hanger straight there. So a couple of riders slid off in that corner. It's a very dangerous situation. Now, here's the meat of the argument. At 12 o'clock, a lot of the forecasters, well, you know, you get these weather apps, and they were all saying it was going to rain throughout the day. It was going to keep on raining. It was going to keep on happening. There was a very, very slim chance that race was ever going to go ahead, and that's talking from someone who was there. And it was cold, and it was wet, and it was windy. There was just no chance of that circuit drying up whatsoever. So at 12 o'clock, I believe he should have made the decision. They didn't, however, because they probably privy to more information than I had. But it was fairly clear to me. Now, what happened with Silverstone earlier on this year, I think it was March, April time, I might be wrong there, but earlier on this year the track has been resurfaced. And what happened, because of the track being resurfaced, and I'm not an expert in tarmacking here or anything like that, so with the track being resurfaced, And it's been used since then, obviously, with Formula 1, and there was a World Endurance round at Silverstone, as well as many car and bike track days. The resurfacing is what Dorner are blaming for the problem. Silverstone haven't really released too much yet, but what Dorner are saying is that with the new surface it's not draining away the water in certain safety critical areas of the track. From what I see, and I agree, it wasn't working. So what can we do about this, and what's the outcome? Well, Silverstone have now launched an investigation. I believe it's a 6-week investigation into the track surface and what the track surface, you know, the contractors that were brought in to do the track surface, what happened, did they make a mistake, did it go wrong somewhere? But definitely the track surface was to blame, as well as the weather. I mean, obviously the track surface wasn't clearing because of the weather. Act of God, you can't do anything about it, completely agree. But the track surface should have let the water drain away, and it wasn't. Now, why has this happened? Again, I'm no expert, but it could to do with the long hot summer we've had in the UK. It could be the type of compound they've used in the tarmac, the asphalt itself. Could be a number of different things. As I say, I'm no expert. But where does it leave the British GP from now on? Well, the British GP got cancelled, as most people will know. I believe it'll just get scrubbed off the calendar. No points will get obviously dished out for that point for the GP itself, because it wasn't run. So it's an event that's gone missed. So what can we do in the future about it? Well, I'm a firm believer of, I'm an engineer myself. When that tarmac, that asphalt would have got installed, it should have gone through an extensive testing procedure before it was ever handed over, a commissioning phase. That obviously hasn't happened, or has not happened in the detail that it should have done to be passed off. What else can we do? I think this is a big leeway now for Silverstone. I mean, that's our only GP track in the country. Yeah, of course, the GP's been held at Donington, but the facilities at Donington are nowhere near what Silverstone is anyway. It is, however, a better location to watch from. Donington I'm talking about. Well, let's not get into that. So Silverstone's the only GP location in the UK. And because of this rainfall, it leaves the event in doubt. It puts a big black cloud, excuse the pun, it puts a big black cloud over Silverstone itself as hosting the venue for the next GP, and I hope it doesn't. But what can Silverstone itself do about it? Obviously contact the people who done it, like I've mentioned, but bid for it earlier on in the year. End of August, the last weekend of August. We're going into winter. I've missed a really good Game of Thrones pun there, haven't I? Winter is coming. And it's not the best time to hold a GP. It's really not. In this country, May, June time is the best time to hold a GP. You can never guarantee the British weather. Given that, yeah, not a problem. I accept that. But round August, the beginning of September is not a good time. We're going into autumn, we're going into winter. I've been to the past 6 MotoGPs. I've been lucky enough that I live quite close to Silverstone, so I go to them all. Of the past 6, I remember one of them, only one, being glorious sunshine. The rest were dull, cloudy, and 2 of them, definitely 2 of them, it was hammering it down. It was absolutely, it must be miserable for the riders. And I think this alone should give Silverstone enough might now to bid for the MotoGP earlier. What goes on from now on? I don't know. We haven't been told about our tickets. We got told that someone from the sales team was going to come up to see us to discuss reimbursement. But we never hung around for it, to be fair, because if we were there or not, the decisions will be made about just reimbursements, and to be honest with you, we'd hung around most all the day anyway, and we wasn't in the mood. As I say, 12 o'clock I was ready to call it in, but you know, the organisers braved on in it to try and keep it going. So reimbursement, we haven't been told anything so far. We have been told that we'll be getting contacted later on this week. According to the back of the ticket, however, it states that if the event is cancelled, you will get a full reimbursement. Now, for me, I don't know what counts as a full reimbursement. I had the hospitality for the 2 days, for the Saturday and Sunday. Again, I was very lucky. I was inside. I was warm. I feel sorry for the people who were out there. Now, will I get the full amount back? Reimbursement? I don't know. I've had the hospitality. I ate the food. I drank the drink. We had rider interviews that came up. You know, I've seen Sam Lowe's, I've seen Bradley Smith, Neil Hodgson came up. There's loads of faces that came up. Charlie Borman was there. Will I get that money back? I mean, it was very expensive. It was £650 for the weekend for one ticket. So for me and my wife to go, we spent like £1,200 effectively. Now I know I won't get Saturday back. That's not a problem. Will I get the rest of it back? I don't know. Now, going on experience with events getting cancelled, I went to a track day about 3 years ago, and at Silverstone, funny enough, and it was raining there. And what happened is, this is with a track company called No Limits Track Days, right? And what No Limits decided to do is, if you got any track time whatsoever, Silverstone would not reimburse you any funds for what you paid out for your track day, right? Any track time whatsoever, it might be a lap, 2 laps, you do not get reimbursed. However, if there is no track time whatsoever, you get the full amount reimbursed. So I believe what Silverstone and Dorner have done, mainly Dorner, have cancelled it, so to give people a full refund. That's what I'd like to hope to happen, to give people a full refund. If the Moto3 or the Moto2 race went ahead, people would not be getting their full refunds. That's what I believe, through experience at Silverstone. So that's another reason why I believe it was cancelled. Safety concerns, and also you wouldn't get to see the full show. There'd be lots of complaints. It's up to Silverstone now to put this right. Dorner seems pretty bang on and blaming Silverstone for the track not drying. Not so much the rain, it was the track, the standing water, what seems to be the cause of this. And it fits in nicely with the surface getting resurfaced at the start of the year. So the whole point of this, why I've done this video, is I was someone who was there. I was lucky. I was really lucky. I was inside. The poor people standing out in the stands, you know, who just had general admission tickets, were cold and wet all day, left hanging. Now I believe that you've made the right decision. At the end of the day, safety is safety. I didn't want to see the riders out there. It was too dangerous. But is that what everyone thinks? That's just my opinion. I want to know what other people think about it. So if you have got an opinion on it, that's the same or different to mine, or anything, it doesn't matter. I'd just like to know what you thought. I was embarrassed at the end of the day that it got dragged on so long. I mean, it's a worldwide spectator sport, and it was beamed out to the rest of the world. And Silverstone, or mainly the company that resurface the track, should be actually quite embarrassed about it themselves. They should be issuing apologies. But I'd like to know what your opinion is. Was it the right call to make? Because I firmly believe it was. I mean, it was annoying yesterday. I'm still a little bit annoyed today, to be honest. But it was the right decision to make, and I think they've made that decision and not allowed any track time whatsoever to give people a full refund. And as I say, I'll let you know in the comments. I'll pin it to the top or something like that. That's a nice sound. That when I do know more information, if I am getting a full refund, if I'm not getting anything at all, I'm getting a partial refund, I will let you know. I'll put it in the top in the pinned comment when I know something, but at the minute I don't know. But once again, thanks for watching the video. It doesn't cost anything to leave a like or subscribe, but it helps me out massively. And I apologise for not doing another video too soon. I've just been really lazy, to be honest with you. But hopefully, guys, I'll see you on the next one, whenever that might be. I'll tell you what, I promise to do a full year review of this bike. I'll do that at some point, but that'll be soon. But I'll see you on the next one, guys, and take care.